cooperation and support the ACTU in the discharge of its responsibilities. We assure the delegations of the ICPC of these commitments. Thank you for partnering with us on this venture that is aimed at improving our quest for transparency and accountability. We assure you that we will do our best to support them whatever is needed. We'll get a copy of the circular you refer to in the address and ensure that we strictly comply with these provisions.
Meanwhile, Nasarawa State Government says it will continue to appreciate the federal government for the construction of the Lafia transmission station by the National Integrated Power Project. Governor Abdullahi Sule, who visited with his entourage to monitor progress of work, says the prospect for reliable power supply will drive the industrialization vision of the state government.
Well, from what you can see, the contractors are indicating 85% of the job has been completed. That is for the main power station project itself, the substation project itself. Now we are talking about the distribution, for the lines out. As you know, 6 lines are actually going out to the various places. And then now it is going to be about the drop of the power as it is coming from the main line, from the 33 kV line. So we are now asking about where it is going to have the line coming in and then another line going out. So they say one line coming from Makodi to be connected, the other line going to Jos. That's where the line in, line out comes in. So that is the main contract, and that is the one that is being awaited. So hopefully we'll go and see if we can discuss with the officials concerned to expedite, because that is the most important part of the project right now. Once you finish the main project, then it's about getting power to Lafia, Akwanga, Doma, Asakio, Kiana, and of course the one going to Lafia will cover Obi and the rest of these other places. So that's the whole idea. So we are very grateful. We thank Almighty God and we thank the contractors for ensuring that they are living to their promises.
The governor interacts with members of the host Akurba community, urging them to guard and protect against vandalism. It will be recalled that during an engagement between the community and NIPP officials on impact assessment of the project, the people appreciate the government assuring of commitment to sustain peace at all times.
As far as this project is concerned, we are expecting a lot of development that will come to my community now. With the way things are going, even as it is now, we've started seeing a lot of changes, a lot of commitment, a lot of things have started coming up now. Akurba is one of the most peaceful community in Lafia local government. The youth are 100% in support of the project. The youth are 100% in support of whatever positive thing that will come into the community. They are ready to give out their 100%.
The project is sustainable in the sense that we need the feedback we are getting from them to be able to make a robust environmental impact assessment studies. And these impact assessment studies that will now tell us that these are likely going to be the impacts the project will have on the environment. The impacts can be positive, which we intend to enhance. The impact that we discover that are negative, we are going to make sure that we ameliorate them, bring them to the barest minimum. This is what is going to make the project sustainable. We've got their comments and their fears. We have been able to a large extent allay their fears. Because somebody was talking about radiation, somebody was talking about maybe electromagnetic, and what are likely to be those things that is going to affect them. So through this workshop, we have been able to allay their fears, and we have even told them that even when the environmental consultant come to do the studies, is going to also involve them. He's going to ask them questions also, and they are going to make some explanations also to them. And whatever the feedback they are getting will be documented in the EIA reports.
I want to really appreciate the federal government of Nigeria for starting the project here. And also another appreciation go to the Nassau State government under the leadership of Engineer Sile for supporting the project. Actually, the project itself, it's a welcome idea and a welcome development. And by extension, it is going to boost the economic activities of the Lafia local government in particular and the state at large. And we remain grateful too to the community for allowing the project going smoothly without any hindrance for now. And we really appreciate at the Hosting Local Government Council, and we'll do everything within our reach to see that we give all the necessary support, morally, socially, and politically, to see that the project is well maintained and people benefit out of it.
The service we are providing to NGPAC, this very forum has actually brought a kind of environment where we communicate with the local community, people that are inhabited in this project area. They've brought out their fears and they've made some comments, which of course we have noted. And we will be coming to their host community to ask them more questions of what their fears is and the things they were not able to say in this forum. We are going to have one-on-one interaction with them so as to attend to all of the fears they have and all the impact we feel that we have noted that this project is going to bring to the community. Be the positive aspect, we are going to harness it to make sure it grows bigger, and negative aspect, the negative impact of this project as well. We'll try and as much as possible to propose a mitigating strategy to reduce it to the barest minimum, as much as the project is something that will bring development to the Akuba community and the Lafia community, Lafia local government at large. The safety of the inhabitant of this community is very paramount to us. So this mitigating strategies is going to take care of every safety issues, and we'll try and ameliorate them so that the community and the inhabitant will be in safety, even with the project that is meant to actually increase the economic status of the environment.
We want to assure them of the safety of their life and property, because this is a transmission substation, and as you can see, we have already fenced the substation. There will not be any trespassing from the community or any outsider. So, and we have used our calculations to fence the safe distance. So there will be no emission, any discharge of any chemical into their rivers or anything that will affect them. We'll assure them of that.
The huge investment at Okearo Transmission Station is fully explored and utilized to change the fortunes of electricity supply to the nation's economic capital. The 330/132/33 kV power transmission station at Okearo, a border town between Lagos and Ogun states, is the biggest power transmission infrastructure in the country. Before the advent of Okearo substation, there were only three 330/132/33 kV substations in Lagos, with Ikeja West as the major source for all power plants that flow their generation into Lagos. Okearo substation was conceived to interface between Egbin Power Plant and Ikeja West Substation, and was equipped with large capacity 2 number 300 MVA 33/132 kV transformers, making the station the first of its kind in the grid with a total transformation capacity of 600 MVA at the 330 kV level. In order to achieve the objective of Okearo, serving as a relief to electricity consumers in Ikeja West, 2 of the evacuation lines from the Egbin Power Plant to Ikeja West were turned in and out of Okearo to effect connection of the substation to the grid. Similarly, the station is equipped with 2 33 kV distribution lines and associated transformers. Managing Director of the NDPHC, Shedu Ubo, assures Lagos State Commissioner of Energy and Mineral Resources Olalere Odushote of commitment to engage stakeholders towards improving power supply.
As part of the design of this project, we have a transmission line, 1.2 kV transmission line that's taken up from here to Alausa. That project has been on, but we have serious waylift challenges. We've enlisted the support of Lagos State government, and they are actively trying to assist us to resolve the challenges along the line route, not just on the Lagos State part of it, but even in Ondo State as well. So we've come to see, to assess, and to know where the challenges are. And another point is Lagos State government has a program. They need to see the availability, so to speak, of energy here, and to see that they can actually take the energy here and make sure that it gets to the consumers in Lagos within their territory. And I think he has seen, and I'm sure he's convinced that indeed that we have energy here stranded, as a matter of fact, because as we have seen, 7 feeders going out of here that should be taking at least 100 megawatts, but the feeders between the 2 distribution companies are doing less than 30 megawatts. So, and you saw us call the Ikeja distribution, and they're also working very hard on their own, and they've told us what the challenges are, which we are working with Lagos State government. We'll work with them to see how we can resolve that.
What I found out here is that there's capacity, just as NDPHC has said earlier, to be able to supply more power to Lagos State. If you look at what we have here, we have about 500 megawatts of capacity that's available to be evacuated, out of which we've got 100 megawatts capacity of transformers that is actually going out. Out of that 100 megawatts, about 60 comes to Lagos. We can do a lot more than that. From the discussions with the distribution companies in Lagos and from the interventions that we're trying to carry out, we realize that we actually need the power to come from here to Lagos. Now, our Light Up Lagos program certainly depends on the power being available on the grid. The interventions with the discos will not amount to much if there's no supply. So we expect that our engagement and interactions with NDPHC will be able to do more for Lagos.
It will be recalled the NDPHC management, after a retreat in Lagos, met with Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who promised effective partnership with the organization to improve power sector performance in the state.
It's important for all of us to see how they get it work, right? The one you've talked about, the transmission line you've talked about now, I mean, my colleagues are here. We'll see how we can resolve, that for you very quickly, because it's only when those groups are closed up and they're covered that you can see efficiency coming out from the transmission. But I think beyond that, and like we've also mentioned, we all need to also push our discourse. We need to be able to push them, so that they also can wrap up demand for them. So all of us need to seriously belt up and work together. What is required of us as a state government to do, we will do. We will do, because we know that if we get the power conversation and solution right in Lagos, it springboards and it helps other jurisdictions to be able to either copy or other learn from how it's been done. And the population is there, the market is there, and I'm sure I can tell you that there's a lot of people that are willing to pay for it once we have it.
Meanwhile, the NDPHC delivered several projects in Lagos State across Ikeja and Eco electricity distribution zones.
When you have available capacity and you are not dispatched, it affects the revenue because you spend money to have that capacity available. And some of these spendings are fixed costs that you cannot do anything about, whether you generate or not. The machines depreciate, you pay for insurance, you have labor that you pay for, and so if you are not dispatched, it definitely affects the revenue. And what NIPP is doing, in addition to generation through the 8 power plants, is also intervention in the transmission and distribution infrastructure so as to improve the wheeling capacity or transmission capacity of TCN, and also to improve the take of power by the distribution companies.
Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online, or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Your information dey important just like your identity. Na the only way we fit take hala you o. Make you go browse easy.gotvafrica.com. Sign in with your IUC number and mobile number and scroll down to personal details and address. Then check well to see say everything bam. You fit change the one wey not correct. To finish everything, just click the save button and it don finish.
Thank you. I make sure say my phone number dey correct. That's not why GoTV fit call me make I come collect my own awoof.
Angel, time for my phone is that why? Because now my correct phone number dey for book.
GoTV, live it, love it.
Now look me again, no. Make you go do your own.
My name is Giato Adeza Adams, the General Manager, Corporate and Strategic Communications, Nigerian Port Authority. As regards the land borders closure, available statistical data from APMT, which is one of our terminal operators that is involved in container handling terminal, has recorded an increase of 200 TEUs of cargoes into their terminal as a result of cargo diversion from the vessels originally meant for neighboring countries. That shows you that the terminal operators is going to have an increase in revenue, which is accrued to the terminal, and at the same time, Nigerian Port Authority will equally benefit from the revenue increase. So that is the benefit we have derived from the border closure.
If you travel around the world, you will find out that there is no place like Nigeria. Beautiful, peaceful, very warm and friendly climate all year round. Largest concentration of black people in the world. Hospitable, vibrant and happy people. There is no place like Nigeria. A land of opportunities. The biggest window in the world of business and investments. Extremely rich in multicultural diversity. There is no place like Nigeria.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
This is the network service of the NTA.
We are happy that judgment has been granted and we have been vindicated in our case.
Former People's Democratic Party spokesperson Olisa Metu to spend 7 years in prison, convicted of stealing government fund.
This is a permanent infrastructure. People will remember him for it.
President Buhari inaugurates iconic development projects in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Plus, more than 6,000 women and youth benefit from federal government's empowerment scheme in first phase of pilot program. Good evening and welcome to the Network News. Tonight, I am Kene Ima Abonike. Reading with me from Lagos is Hengino John Adams and Zulay Mohammed in Kaduna. Two iconic projects, the Ore Flyover Interchange as well as Ondo Lane Industrial Hub, have been inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. The projects executed by the Akeredolu administration are aimed at enhancing job opportunities and socio-economic development of the Sunshine State. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo was there.
It was a massive show of solidarity, support and indeed adoration for President Muhammadu Buhari as he arrived Ore, home of bitumen and commercial nerve center of Ondo State. The president is here to inaugurate the iconic flyover interchange along Shagamu-Ore Benin Expressway, otherwise called Redemption Bridge, connecting the southwest and southeastern parts of the country. President Buhari commended Governor Rotimi Akeredolu for executing the project in line with the spirit and drive of his administration, which places great emphasis on the provision of critical infrastructure, especially in the area of transportation.
I followed the road and I have seen the problem, and I congratulate the governor for his success story, identifying his strategic position and the investment he has made for Nigerians and I think for himself, because this is a permanent infrastructure. People will remember him for it.
Before this redemption bridge, a lot of carnage happened as our people try to traverse from the south to go and do business or for any other thing in the central or north. We gave promise when we were campaigning and we decided we must keep the promise. So that's why the Olora is here. It's a promise made, a promise kept.
During the event, the president assured the people of Ondo State that the federal government will meet its obligations to the state on the construction of the project aimed at easing traffic congestion and boosting economic activities. President Muhammadu Buhari also inaugurated Ondo Lineal Industrial Hub in Odigbo local government area of the state, a public-private partnership investment between the state government and a Chinese consortium. The industrial hub will not only deliver inclusive growth, create job opportunities, but also enhance the economic fortunes of the Sunshine State.
I take this opportunity to commend the investors who saw Nigeria and Ondo State in particular as a viable investment destination. I want to assure you of our continued support, both at the federal and state level, as we move forward to the next phase of this project's life cycle. I am confident through this project, based here, will utilize locally available raw materials to create jobs for young men and women, increase knowledge and capacity, and support our import substitution policies.
Was massively subsidized for establishment of this Ondo Industrial Hub with the understanding that the people of Ondo will be the primary beneficiaries. The potentials of industrialization in Nigeria is immense, and we pride ourselves in Ondo State that we are the ED treasure of Nigeria.
Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, supported in solidarity by his counterparts from Ekiti, Ogun and Edo states, thereafter conducted President Muhammadu Buhari round some selected factories in the industrial hub. These include the high-density fireboard and paper factories, the largest cassava to ethanol plant, as well as the win-win textile factory. President Buhari, who appreciated the show of support by the royal fathers in the state, asked them to sustain collaborative efforts with the state government for the desired expansion and success of the critical investment. President Muhammadu Buhari has since returned to Abuja. Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Turning to the judiciary, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has sentenced a former spokesman of the PDP, Olisa Metu, to 7 years imprisonment after finding him guilty of stealing government funds. Justice Okonabang also orders the winding up of his company, Destra Investments Limited. Olabode Arewa reports.
Delivering judgment, the court held that Olisa Metu erred when he unlawfully collected 400 million naira from the office of the then National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambuda Securitat, without executing any contract. The court also held that Metu laundered $2 million through his company, Destra Investments Limited. The court accordingly sentenced him to 7 years imprisonment. Also, he is to pay 375 million naira to the coffers of government, while his company would pay 25 million naira fine, in addition to being wound up. The sentences are to all concurrently.
We are happy that judgment has been granted and we have been vindicated in our case.
This is a good example of a bad judgment. And we have our appeal in our hands. I still have confidence in the law court. And we are heading upstairs to the 3 wise men to know whether he is right or wrong.
Olisa Metu had argued that the 400 million naira was for certain security services on behalf of former President Goodluck Jonathan. But the court held that there was no documentary evidence to support such claim. The trial had been on since 2015. In Abuja, Labodawa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has described the conviction of the former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Olisa Metu, for receiving about 400 million naira from the Office of the National Security Advisor as another proof that the anti-corruption war of the Buhari administration is on course. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niye Akeshiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, the BMO says this latest conviction should serve as a cautionary note to public officers, or rather to public office holders, to be mindful of the sacred trust they owe the people when in office and always utilize public funds according to the laws of the land. The media organization notes that due process was followed in the conviction of Olisa Metu, stressing that any country worth its salt must always adhere to the rule of law. The statement assures that all the monies recovered from looters will be channeled into developing the country's dilapidated infrastructure. The Plateau State High Court sitting in Jos has granted bail to former governor of the state, Jonah David Jang, and his cashier, Yusuf Pam, on the case of diversion and misappropriation of 6.3 billion naira being charged against them. The presiding judge, Justice Christina Dapope, who just took over the case, said the bail is still based on the existing bail bonds granted by the former judge who handled the matter. Ejoma Ozemena takes it from here.
It will be recalled that retired Justice Daniel Longji, who bowed out from the bench on the 2nd of January 2020, had ruled in December 2019 that Jonah Jang and Yusuf Pam had a case to answer. The case was now reassigned to Justice Dabob of Court 4, where all the 17-count charges were read to the two defendants, who pleaded not guilty. The charges ranges from 2 billion naira for procurement, misappropriation of 2.750 billion naira, and another 2 billion naira, as well as diversion of 46.7 million naira, among other monies. Yusuf Pam is being charged with the misuse of 10 million naira which he withdrew from Zenith Bank into his account, being money belonging to the Plateau Universal Basic Education for teachers' salaries and others. When the case came up for mentioning, the prosecuting counsel, Mr. Atolade, who held the brief of Rotimi Jacobs, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, urged the court to permit him to read the amended charges for the accused persons to take their pleas for last year. Counsel to the first defendant, Edward Pajok, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, explained that it was not an amended charge, for it is starting afresh. Counsel to the second defendant, Sonny Ode, in the alleged criminal breach of trust, noted that he did not have any objection since the case is starting afresh. The trial judge, Christine Dabob, directed that all charges not amended should be read to defendants, which they pleaded not guilty. At this juncture, counsel to Jang, Edward Pajok, applied for bail and told the judge that the lead prosecuting counsel of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, Jacobs, had earlier agreed that he would not oppose the bail application for the defendants. The court granted the defendant bail on the existing bail conditions and adjourned to 26th, 27th, and 28th of May 2020 in Jos, Ijoma Ozemina, NTA News.
As a way of improving the capacity of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Anti-graft agency is affiliating the EFCC Academy to Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. Aliyu Tukur was at the signing of a memorandum of understanding to that effect and now tells us more.
With these signatures and warm handshakes, EFCC Academy and ABU Zaria are now cement twins. This partnership will now see the EFCC Academy to run certificate, diploma, and postgraduate program in courses such as forensic accounting, digital forensic, forensic science, law enforcement, and criminal justice administration. This is aimed at improving the fight against corruption by ensuring that the menace of corrupt practices are inculcated into younger generation to rid the country of the vice
The Ahmadu Bello University is going to award the degrees, but in conjunction with the EFCC Academy.
This is very, very important. We also want to collaborate. Collaboration is the main thing. We want to collaborate with everybody so that less people even accept that corruption is wrong. So it's very, very necessary. Educating the people, sensitizing, creating awareness, making people feel responsible in the fight against corruption.
Abuja is the second university to enter into partnership with EFCC after University of Abuja. To other matters now, towards the implementation of the National Livestock Transformation Program, 3 states, Adamawa, Nasarawa and Plateau, have been penciled down and evaluated for the program. Consequently, these states have been directed by the Ad Hoc Committee on National Food and Security and Farmers Headers Crisis set up by the National Economic Council to submit their programs and costings for the implementation. Chairman of the subcommittee and Ebonyi State Governor Dave Nweze Umahi, after the subcommittee's meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, explained that the nation will benefit from the project and that the country's GDP is already improving.
The expectation is, we have clear mandates. One is that, this program is going to, resolve, to a very large extent the farmers-headers conflict. And so if we revive some of the grazing reserves, especially in the north, for willing states, we're going to see this conflict come down. And then also a modern way of, cow rearing for greater benefit. These are things we expect to see.
And now to the National Assembly, where the Senate has urged the Chief of Army Staff to establish a military command base in Garikida community in Adamawa State, attacked by gunmen last week. This followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by Senator Aishatu Dahiru, which stressed the need for the establishment of the military base in all communities bordering the Sambisa Forest. The motion called on the Northeast Development Commission to immediately commence a rehabilitation and reconstruction of structures destroyed, while the National Emergency Management Agency should immediately assess the extent of damages and provide relief materials to those affected.
We embark on rehabilitation of public and religious institutions destroyed and provide assistance to other individuals affected.
In the village of Bam, in Noman local government, where 2 people were also killed. Mr. President, it is important that the issue of security be addressed frontally.
Of our being in government, and of course it will require that we work with the House of Representatives and the Executive as well as citizens.
The legislators, through a motion by Senator Teslin Folarin, urged the Nigerian Police, the Federal Safety Commission and vehicle inspection officers to immediately clamp down on trucks and articulated lorries without the minimum prescribed levels of lightening and other road safety requirements. A little bit on security. The Nigerian Air Force says the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed some Boko Haram terrorist structures and logistics facilities at Garu, Maloma and Parisu in the Sambisa Forest General Area of Borno State. In a statement by NAF Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukule Daramola, the airstrikes were executed on 23rd and 24th of February 2020 as part of the ongoing Operation Rattlesnake 3, based on incredible intelligence reports indicating that elements of the BHTX that carried out the attack on Garikida in Adamawa State originated from camps within the Sambisa Forest. Consequently, the ATF dispatched 8 attack aircraft to both locations, destroying several structures housing the terrorists, as well as some of their logistics stores, which were seen engulfed in flames. The NAV, operating in concert with surface forces, will sustain an 8-air campaign to shape the battle space in the northeast. Up ahead, more than 40 million MSMEs operators captured into Smedang's database. Details when we return.